Hey there everybody, I'm your host Joshua Ryan, and although I'm not Peter Parker, that doesn't mean I'm not Spider-Man in an alternate universe, right? I mean, that's what the Spider-Verse is all about, and right now, that's what the fans are talking about. We want it, we need it, we want to see it on the big screen, give it to us, and lucky for us, it looks like it's happening. FandomWire got an exclusive scoop that says Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in, that we will see all three Spider-Men together in the MCU. This is huge. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and fans are ecstatic. I mean, everybody loves Spider-Man, but the fans are kind of divided on which of these three gave us the best version of the character, the best portrayal. I mean, they each have their high points. Tobey Maguire gave us the perfect, socially awkward, nerdy Peter Parker, while Andrew Garfield gave us the sarcastic, one-lining, quipping Spider-Man that we all know and love. And I mean, Tom Holland gave us the first team-up live action with the Avengers on screen. These are all amazing points, but if we're going to declare one the winner and give them that webbed crown, then we're going to have to break this down into categories to award points to, and we are going to begin with the suit. Spider-Man's suit is iconic. From the spider symbol on the chest to the vibrant red and blue colors, it's instantly recognizable. And while two of these Spider-Man suits were fairly similar, Tom Holland's stands out. Now, he had a variety of different suits, but what stands out about his suits is the technology that comes with them, courtesy of Tony Stark. I mean, his suits come with a seemingly endless array of possibilities, including an instant kill mode, which is pretty awesome, and it comes in very handy in Avengers Endgame, but there's something about that technology that seems to make it too easy, almost. And the fact that Tony Stark made the suit for him kind of makes it lose some of its magic. I mean, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's characters each made their own suits. It was their vision and their efforts that brought it to life. And their suits are used as a symbol and as a disguise, not as a weapon. Now, of those two suits, the one that stands out the most to me was Tobey Maguire's suit from the original Spider-Man. I mean, it looks like it was ripped from the pages of a comic book and put onto the movie screen. Its colors are vibrant and bright and almost cartoonish, but not too much, and the texture's amazing. And the lines of the webbing along the suit are clearly visible. There's some great texture here. This is really a case where they got it right the first time. And so this point goes to Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man is known for his ability to launch webs from his wrists. It's a staple of the character. It's how he swings throughout New York, and it's his most prominent weapon. He uses them to pelt his enemies, swing them, and even confine them. But Maguire's version varied from the comics by having his character have natural, organic webs that shoot directly out of the flesh of his wrist. It's pretty gross when you think about it. In the comics, Spider-Man utilizes web launchers that he creates himself. They use web cartridges filled with a strong web-like substance, and they're great because they really showcase what a brilliant scientist Peter Parker is, and they add a level of tension because you know that the web shooters could run out at the most inopportune time. Now, Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield's versions each use the mechanical web shooters, and for that reason they each get a point here, making this a three-way tie as we move into the next round, the love interest. Yeah. Peter Parker is a down-on-his-luck nerd who often struggles with the ladies, but his two most well-known love interests from the comics are Mary Jane Watson and Gwen Stacy. Tobey Maguire's version gave us Mary Jane Watson as portrayed by Kirsten Dunst, and she did a pretty good job with what she was given, but unfortunately that character was used as a plot point. She creates a love triangle between Peter and Harry, and she gets captured at the end of every movie. She's used as little more than a damsel in distress for Spider-Man to save. Now, Tom Holland's version gave us a new love interest with MJ. The name is clearly an homage to Mary Jane, but the two characters couldn't be more different. However, it's the Amazing Spider-Man series that gave us Gwen Stacy, as played by Emma Stone. Gwen is headstrong, independent, and she doesn't rely on Spider-Man to keep her safe. She runs headfirst into danger to help save the day. She's a part of the action. She's a part of the solution. She is a partner to Spider-Man, and for that reason, she steals this point for Andrew Garfield. There wouldn't be a Spider-Man without Uncle Ben and Aunt May. It's Uncle Ben's death and words of wisdom that inspire Peter to don the red and blue suit to begin with, and it's Aunt May as his loving mother figure that gives him strength. Now, in Tom Holland's version, we get the smoking hot Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. But smoking hot and Aunt May aren't two things that should go together. Now, while we don't see Uncle Ben on screen in this version, it's clear that he exists in this universe and that he and Peter were close before his death. Now, Andrew Garfield's version gives us a more traditional Aunt May and Uncle Ben, but the ones that get it perfect are the Tobey Maguire ones. Uncle Ben and Aunt May are his elderly guardians filled with wisdom, love, and true goodness. And Aunt May's words to Peter of, "I believe there's a hero in all of us," and Uncle Ben's words of wisdom, that iconic line of, "With great power comes great responsibility," are etched into the minds of any fan who saw this movie growing up. It is perfect. And for that reason, this point goes to Tobey. Spider-Man has one of the most impressive rogues galleries out of any Marvel superhero. And of course, you can't have a great Spider-Man movie without a great villain. Now, Tobey Maguire's films did a great job of this in the beginning. They gave us the Green Goblin and Doc Ock, and while the Green Goblin suit did look a little silly, Willem Dafoe gave a perfect performance as the psychotic Norman Osborn. And of course, Spider-Man's battle with Doc Ock on the train is one of the greatest action sequences of any comic book movie ever, like all time. It is so good. And then Spider-Man 3 happened, and Harry Osborn turned into the new Goblin. He came off as laughable. And despite being a really solid actor, Topher Grace was a terrible choice for Venom, like really bad, the worst. And while the Sandman was okay, the forced plotline linking him to Uncle Ben's death made no sense. Now, Andrew Garfield got to face off against the Lizard in his first film, and that was really cool because fans had been wanting to see the Lizard on screen for years. And he followed that up with Electro, and while both of these villains were good, that's just it. They were good. They didn't reach that awe-inspiring, magnificent level that we want and expect from a Spider-Man movie. Now, Tom Holland got to face off against the Vulture in his first solo film, and what was awesome about that is that the Vulture was intended to be the villain in the fourth Tobey Maguire movie, which obviously didn't happen. So now he gets his chance to shine, as played by the always magnificent Michael Keaton. In Tom Holland's follow-up movie, he got to face off against Mysterio, whose ability to create these false visions and images created some amazing imagery and some truly awe-inspiring action sequences. I mean, I think Mysterio is one of the coolest and most underrated Spider-Man villains, so this was awesome. And of course, he went toe-to-toe with Thanos in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Now, with baddies like that under his Spidey belts, you can't help but give him the point. I mean, there's no way around it. Tom Holland takes this one. Each of the Spider-Men have 2 points. We are all tied up going into the final round. Who would have guessed that this was gonna happen? I didn't know. But now that we're here, there's only one way to settle this. We gotta take it back and look at each version of the character's introduction, their origin. Now, Tobey Maguire's version stayed really true to the comic book roots. Uncle Ben's death at the hands of a robber that Peter could have stopped, but didn't, out of revenge and resentment. Andrew Garfield's version stayed pretty close to the comics as well, but they couldn't just repeat exactly what had been done a few years ago. So while Tobey Maguire's version was wrestling Bonesaw when he was ripped off by the event organizer, Andrew Garfield's version witnesses a convenience store robbery. They each have the same tragic outcome, the death of Uncle Ben when he's just trying to do the right thing. Now fast forward to Tom Holland's version, and they didn't want to do a repeat of a repeat, so they just skipped the origin altogether. We don't see his version get his spider powers, and we don't need to. Everybody on Earth knows that Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider. It's common knowledge. They teach it in school or something, I'm not sure. So instead, we get Tom Holland's introduction in a big way. He's recruited by Iron Man to do battle against Captain America and some other Avengers in Captain America Civil War. It is huge. It is a fantastic introduction, action-filled, action-packed, and it was great because this is the first live-action Spider-Man that we are seeing interacting with other superheroes on screen. This is something fans had been waiting for a lifetime. But as great and as awesome as that is, we missed out on the emotional driving force behind Peter Parker's decision to don the mask. In Tobey Maguire's version, he tells Uncle Ben to stop trying to be my father. Those are his last words to him before he dies. Then he has to carry the guilt of his actions and the lies he told, setting those events in motion that led to Uncle Ben's death. Guilt is a powerful thing, and that emotional turmoil is important to the character. It's vital. And for that reason, Tobey Maguire gets this point, and that makes him the winner. So that's it, it's official. There is no debating it, no arguing it. You heard it here. Tobey Maguire is the best version of Spider-Man. There is no debating it. There's no more argument because I just said so. It's Tobey Maguire. Now, of course, that's not true. There's always going to be debate and argument, and I'm open to hearing it. So if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Who do you think is really the best version of the character? Do you agree with the points I made? Do you think Tobey's got the best suit? Do you think Tom Holland has the best villains? If not, let me know. I'm Joshua Ryan. Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, and I'll see you next time.